The moment everything changed was when a man finally realized she hadn't betrayed him. She had simply revealed her nature. But no one understood what that meant until now. It's a story older than time, one written not in words, but in instincts. From the ancient villages to the glowing screens of today, a hidden pattern keeps repeating itself. Men build, women choose, and in between, a silent war of survival plays out over and over again. But what if I told you this war isn't cruel, it's biological? That female nature, as misunderstood as it is, isn't evil. It's evolution wearing a mask. Centuries ago, during times of famine, plague, or war, men disappeared first. They went to fight, they went to protect, they went to die. And when they did, something shifted. Women adapted. They stepped into new roles, rulers, traders, survivors, not because they wanted power, but because survival demanded it. That's when history started whispering something strange, that female nature wasn't built for comfort, but for continuity. While men fought the outside world, women mastered the inside one, the psychological, the social, the emotional. But here's the twist no one talks about. This instinct didn't vanish when the wars ended. It stayed, it evolved, and today it hides in plain sight, in relationships, in choices, in silence. Imagine a world where emotions are armor, where connection itself becomes currency. That's the world female psychology built, not by design, but by necessity. And yet, men keep asking the same question. Why does she change? Why does she pull away the moment I get attached? Why does she test, compare, withdraw? To understand that, you have to go back not decades, but centuries. Because what men call confusing today was once the only way for women to survive. When kingdoms burned, when men vanished in wars, when safety was a myth, the only constant weapon left was choice. The power to select, to read signals, to predict who would protect, who would provide, and who would perish. This wasn't manipulation. It was evolution's cold design, optimizing survival, generation after generation. And here's where it gets darker. The same instincts that saved humanity now confuse it. The behaviors once meant for survival, testing, comparing, withholding affection until trust was earned, now play out in modern dating like ghost codes of biology. But there's a moment, subtle and devastating, when a man finally sees through it. When he realizes the rejection wasn't personal, it was mathematical. That's the moment everything changes, because from that point, he either breaks or awakens. The story you're about to hear isn't about villains or victims. It's about nature. Raw, ancient, unstoppable nature. The kind that doesn't care about comfort, only continuation. And by the end, you'll understand why men keep losing battles they don't even know they're fighting. But the strangest part? They didn't lose because women were stronger. They lost because women were faster. Adaptation favors speed, not strength. Every species has a survival code. For wolves, it's the pack. For lions, it's dominance. For humans, it's strategy. And that strategy is split by gender. Men take risk, women calculate risk, and history shows calculation often wins. When the Black Death struck Europe, nearly half the population vanished, but statistically, women survived longer. Why? Not luck, not medicine, psychology. When death surrounded every home, women began forming emotional networks, caretaking circles, small communities, mutual protection webs. Men isolated, sacrificed, or fought. They died faster, yes, but their deaths kept the group alive. Nature, in a cruel twist, rewarded the cautious, the emotional intelligence, the connectors. Over generations, this shaped instinct so deep, they now run invisible. Modern women still build those emotional webs, now called social intuition. They can sense a man's confidence, fear, or weakness long before he speaks. Meanwhile, men evolved to prove worth. They chased validation through achievement, not connection. So when both instincts meet in today's world, one built for strategy, the other for survival, they clash. That's why a man might say, "She changed." No, she revealed. When the safety of emotion fades, instinct replaces affection. But this isn't a war between love and logic. It's nature testing alignment. Two survival programs running side by side, trying to decode each other. And here's the data that seals it. Studies show women's attraction spikes not from kindness, but competence under stress. Because for thousands of years, that signaled who would survive the storm. So, when she tests you, when she withdraws, when she watches how you react under pressure, it isn't cruelty, it's calibration. Evolutionary math disguised as modern dating. That's why the smartest men don't chase approval. They embody stability. They understand that affection cannot be negotiated. It must be earned through calm presence. And yet, there's still one question unanswered. If this pattern is so ancient, can it ever change? Maybe not.
Because nature doesn't update. It only adapts. And the same instincts that once saved us now quietly decide who stays alone. And that's when it hit me. Maybe this wasn't about betrayal or love or power. Maybe it was about recognition. Every generation believes it's smarter than the last, that it has evolved beyond instinct. But look closer. Our screens may glow, our words may soften, yet our biology still whispers the same story. She wants safety. He wants respect. And when either one disappears, everything collapses. The tragedy isn't that women are selective. It's that men stopped understanding what that selection means. Because deep beneath the layers of dating apps and modern expectations lies an ancient exchange: security for devotion, certainty for loyalty.
Neither side wrong. Both just following an equation older than civilization itself. But here's the truth no algorithm can hide. You can't beat nature. You can only understand it. And the men who finally do stop taking rejection as insult. They see it as data, as insight into the code running beneath emotion. Those are the men who evolve. So when you hear someone say, "She changed," ask yourself, or maybe ask history, did she change, or did she finally become what nature designed her to be? Maybe the untold story of female nature isn't about deception. It's about adaptation. And the sooner men stop fighting it, the sooner they'll stop losing battles they were never meant to win.